welcome the lovely Natalia Vodianova.
I'm back in USSR. Know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the US, back in the US, back in the USSR.
Oh, you've got huge heels on there.
Yes, massive
wow.
heels.
How lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to meet you. I knew you were modelling for a while. I'd seen you and I'd read articles about you and you're a big success story in the world of modelling. I know you've modelled for all the big names, Calvin Klein, Yves Saint Laurent, all these, the big houses, I believe they're called. But I'm fascinated by your childhood. Whereabouts in Russia were you born? And what was it like growing up there for you? Because you weren't destined to become an international face, were you?
I come from Nizhny Novgorod. It's a big industrial city, not far from Moscow.
Were you working when you were young? Did you have to work to help the family?
Yes, I worked since I was about 11 years old, helping my mom we used to sell fruits together illegally.
So hold it, it's against the law to sell fruit in that part of Russia?
No, it's fine to sell fruits, but we had an illegal fruit stand by the side of the road where all the workers from the factory used to come back home.
But why was it illegal? You were saying like Class A fruits?
No,
or
because... No, we just didn't have the documents.
Oh, so you needed papers to be able to sell fruit, I understand. So you had a little setup. So that must have been kind of risky, I would have thought.
It was very risky, yes. We had mafia coverage and police coverage, actually, too, because it's kind of, well, same thing.
Yeah. Was this... Where were you discovered as a model? It wouldn't have been while selling fruit by the side of the road, I wouldn't have thought.
No. I started modelling back then, but I used to pay for it myself rather than them paying me money, because it was kind of a modelling school. And my boyfriend at the time took me, because he was a model, he said, you know, oh, you would be great and I'll pay for you. It was very, it was insignificant money, but I didn't have even that. So I came with him, and then there was a casting, and I made it to Moscow, and then I made it to Paris.
So you got it, and was it fairly easy to get from Moscow to Paris in those days?
Well, it was quite easy for me, but I don't think it's easy in general. In fact, in Russia, it's even difficult to get from one part of it to another. For example, we just been to Novosibirsk with my husband, and he went to this nightclub. I didn't go because I had a play park opening the next day, but he went, and he said that there was the most beautiful women he ever seen in his life, all these blonde, tall, supermodel type of girls.
Hold on, how greedy is this man? He's got you waiting at home, and he's going saying, I saw some crackers tonight. What's wrong?
Well,
You have an open relationship?
No.
No, so he was just chatting, making
No,
small
and
talk.
so and we were wondering why all these girls are in Novosibirsk and not in Moscow, not in Paris. And actually, the ticket from Novosibirsk to Moscow is so expensive, even in economy, that all these girls, they kind of make it. It's in Siberia, by the way, Novosibirsk. Right. So they kind of make it from the regions to the capital of Siberia, which is Novosibirsk, but then they can't get
stuck there. That's
even to Moscow.
Because Russia, I know it's changed so much, but I've got no idea where it's... I'm a bit scared of going there, because I feel it strikes me that it's probably a bit like the Wild West was, with gangs and... Is it a scary place to be?
I think you would be fine. I know that some people have bad experiences, because once you get stopped by police, if you don't have your documents on, it would be not a pleasant experience, and they can make it even more difficult for you. But
they wouldn't mess with me. Like the Bourne Identity.
Well, I wouldn't say you would blend in, no? But...
OK, so you moved to Paris. You were still just a kid, really. You were 16, 17 then?
No, well, I was almost 18, actually.
Okay.
I was not as young as a lot of other models.
And did you already speak English or French? Did you already got other languages?
No, I didn't speak any languages.
And what did you learn French? You learned French there, or you learned English, because it's a better language? What did you learn first?
Well, good point.
But it is.
Because everybody in the industry kind of spoke English, so I learned English more than French, but of course you pick up a little bit, so I speak a little bit of French. But then I met my husband, who has actually been my teacher of English.
And he's British, of course, isn't he? So how did you find... Let me go back. When you first started modelling, it must have been about as far removed from the life you'd had before as it was possible to get. There you are, you're selling fruit illegally on the roadside to workers. Next thing you know, you're in Paris, and presumably not only modelling, but I would have thought being taken out places. There must have been guys, you know, chatting you up all the time, I would have thought. It must have been a very different world.
Yes, well, it's true. When I first arrived to Paris, it all was very new for me, very exciting, and I met a lot of interesting people. About the guys, it's kind of was more tricky than that, because I kind of found that every single guy I fancied was not available, because most of them were gay.
But had you met many gay men in Russia?
Well, no, I haven't. I actually didn't even know that what exactly gay meant.
So it wasn't as open in Russia.
Well, where I come from, it was you wouldn't speak. No, you wouldn't speak about that. I mean, Russia is opening up more and more now to it, but still in the part of Nizhny Novgorod where I come from, if you wear pink trousers and orange sweater, you're not going to get really far.
Wow. You want to cancel that tour now, fellas? I'm telling you. And now you're based over here. You live in the UK?
Yes, we live in the UK.
And you have 3 children, which people I think would find hard to believe you have 3 kids.
I do, actually, yes.
Wow, they're your 3 children there?
That's 2 of them,
That's
yes.
you with your 2 children. Oh, my God. Okay. I thought that was you. I was one of the children. Well, you look young there. You look very young. It's a great thing, man. You look so young.
Yes, well, the thing is, in Russia, if you don't have... It's changing now, again, but... No, if you don't have children by the age 25, you're kind of considered an old nun.
Yeah.
Sort of, something must be wrong with you. So women get married and have children very young.
We're kind of designed to have them young, aren't we, really?
Well, it's better for you, as you can see.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You bounce right back. You're going to have to get your figure back, though. You're going to have to work on that. What do you make of the weather here? We've all been moaning about the snow we've had here the last few weeks. I guess for someone from Russia, this doesn't seem quite so bad, does it?
I think you have to come and live in Russia for a year if you're an Englishman, and then you'll say that England is kind of like Africa.
Do you get to go back to Russia much? You mentioned earlier on the playground. I know you're involved. You have a big charity. Did you found the charity, or did you?
Yes, I founded.
So you founded this charity. Tell us about this.
We built, my charity is called Naked Heart Foundation, and we build play parks in Russia.
How many have you managed to open so far?
39.
39? Wow, that's incredible. That's a lot of play parks.
Thank you.
And how do you raise the money for these? It's just charity work?
We organize fundraising events. I haven't managed to organize a lot of them, but they've been very successful. My last fundraising event raised almost €5 million.
Wow. And you're going to open some here in the UK as well, aren't you?
Yes, we're organising another event next week on 23rd of February, together with Harper's Bazaar and Lucy Yeomans, who's the chief editor, and she's been helping me, and we put this great event together. So we're hoping to raise a lot of funds and open more play parks. But because your wonderful country is hosting our event, then we want to give back also, and because the thing is, play parks, they're needed everywhere, and even if it seems like, of course, your country is much more, let's say, civilized and economically stable than my country, but still there are places where play parks are needed.
But there aren't so many facilities for kids, of course there are. And if people want to donate, they can go to your website. What's it called, the website? Yes?
It's nakedheart.org. And also I'm running semi-marathon, so if anyone wants to support me, I'm running in Paris on 7th of March, and there's also a link to support me.
You're a great example. I mean, you're out over here, and obviously you're, I think, a terrific ambassador for what can be done over there, even if it necessarily isn't always being done.
My cause is very, building play parks, it doesn't seem like it's a necessity. In fact, it's luxury for children. That's why it gets a lot of criticism in Russia, actually, which is very painful for me, because I find that why should we choose a specific child? Why should someone like me choose a specific cause? I believe that if you give children some model of happiness, some model of something, a hope, something bright, then they can see their future maybe differently. So I'm trying to set a good example for them also, so when they grow up, if they become successful, then they can also give back to their country.
Well, you know, it's been lovely to meet you this evening, and you are a remarkable young woman and quite the inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, Natalia Vodianova. Thank you. How lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming.